Christ and Conduct by James Allen. Chapter 6. Salvation this day. This day salvation come to this house. Jesus to Zacchaeus. Behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Jesus. I have tried to show in the 5 foregoing chapters that the teaching of Jesus is based entirely on the perfection of conduct and can be summed up in the one word, goodness. Jesus manifests his goodness in his life, and his teaching is vitally powerful because it is rooted in his life, his conduct. His command to follow me is literal and actual, not in the sense of a slavish imitation of the external details of his life, but in the scaling as he scaled the heights of goodness and pity and love by the conquest of self. The glory of his teaching is embodied in the precepts, as the splendor of his life is wrapped up in them, and he who adopts those precepts as the guides of his life will so perfect his conduct by purifying the inward springs of thought and action as to become a spiritualized and sinless being, fulfilling the whole duty of life and the purpose of existence. Herein also is contained complete salvation, namely freedom from sin. The word salvation is only mentioned by Jesus twice, and only one of these utterances, that is to Zacchaeus, can be said to have any vital significance for us. In that one brief statement, we are fully enlightened as to its meaning by virtue of its pointed application to the altered conduct of Zacchaeus. This man, we infer, has hitherto been hard, exacting, and grasping, but though he had not yet seen in person the new teacher, his message had reached his ears, and it had opened his heart to the good news that man can and should repent and abandon selfish and sinful practices for good and sinless conduct. And this he had done, and have improved its blessedness. No wonder that when Jesus came to his house, he received him joyfully and told him how he had abandoned wrongdoing for right doing, evil for good, the selfish for the unselfish life. Jesus did not inquire into the religious views of Zacchaeus, did not impose upon him any change of view or opinion, did not demand that he believe anything about Jesus as being the Messiah, the Son of God, etc. Zacchaeus had changed his conduct, had completely turned around in his attitude towards others, and abandoned greed for generosity, extortion for charity, honesty for dishonesty, selfishness for unselfishness, evil for good. And this was sufficient. And Jesus declared in the words, "This day is salvation come to this house." The only salvation recognized and taught by Jesus is salvation from sin and the effects of sin, here and now. And this must be old selfishness, the old life self in any or every shape. Only by doing this and turning to the new life of gentleness and purity and humility and unselfish love can a man be said to be saved from sin. And then he is saved indeed, for no more practicing it can trouble him no more. Herein also is heaven, not a speculative heaven beyond the tomb, but a real, abiding, and ever-present heaven in the heart. A heaven from which all the hellish desires and modes and the sufferings are banished, where love rules, and from which peace is never absent. Good news indeed is that the message Jesus which revealed to men his divine possibilities, which says in substance to sin-stricken humanity, take up thy bed and walk, which tells man that he need no longer remain the creature for darkness and ignorance and sin, if he will but believe in goodness and will watch and strive and conquer until he has actualized in his life the goodness that is sinless. And in thus believing and overcoming, man not only has a guide that perfect rule that Jesus has embodied in his precepts, he has also the inward guide, the Spirit of truth, in his own heart, the light which lighteth every man that he cometh into the world, which, as he follows it, he will infallible witness to the divine origin of those precepts. He who will humbly pass through the gate of good, resolving that every element of his nature that is not pure and true and lovable shall be abandoned, that every violation of the divine precept shall be abolished, to him, faithful, humble, true, will be revealed the sublime vision of the perfect one, and day by day purifying his heart and perfecting his conduct in accordance with his vision, he will sooner or later rise above all the subtleties of his lower nature, will wash away every ignominious stain from his soul, and realize the perfect goodness of the eternal Christ.